Hello folks, here's Paradise, this is Our Talk, and in this video we are going to cover everything about simple future. But before diving in, I would appreciate if you give a thumbs up to this video, subscribe so that you won't miss any further videos in the future, and leave the comments below about any comment, any question, anything you had on this topic or any other topic on grammars. And if you think that you need subtitles to this video, you just need to click on that little button down here and we're good to go. So let's dive in and see what is simple future is actually about. But again, like the previous structures, the last two videos, they were about simple past and simple present. So if you think that you need help with them or there are some structures, there are some difficulties you have in those two, feel free to check those videos before this. But don't worry, there is not a connection between these videos. It's not like this, that if you haven't seen those videos, you won't understand this. No. So this is all about simple future. First off, we are going to see how are the verbs exactly created in the form of simple future. When we compare it to the previous two videos, in simple future, it's pretty simple. It doesn't matter you have I, she, he, it. It really doesn't matter because under any condition, the simple form of the verb would be plus will. Actually, will plus the verb. Okay, the order would be like this. And one more thing, in the previous video, I wrote regular. Regular and irregular verbs, they are two concepts in simple past. But in simple present, when I said regular, I meant that normal verbs. Okay, and again, in here, I mean the same. Any normal verb. So for example, play is a normal verb, or cook is a normal verb. Study, again. Okay, so in here, and in the previous video, simple present, by regular, normal verb. But in simple past, I meant really regular and irregular verb. So, as I said, the verbs in the future, in the simple future, would be created by adding by adding will to the simple form of the verb. So, will play, I will play, she will play. We do not have she will plays. You see, the verb is simple in the way that we are creating the verbs in simple future. I will play, they will cook, she will study. Okay? Again, like any other grammar part, any other tense, we have an auxiliary verb. So what is auxiliary verb? I mentioned in the previous videos. Auxiliary verb is a verb that is not the main action that is actually happening in that sentence, but it will help your main verb to make a question with it or to make it negative. So, for example, when I say in this question, will you go to the restaurant tomorrow? As you see, I'm making a question. So, the auxiliary verb that I'm using to make a question in simple future is will. Okay, will you do something? And as you see, the verb is simple. Like any other auxiliary verb that we use in sentences, in questions, in negative form of sentences, we use the verb simple. When we want to make it negative, we do not say will not. We say won't. Okay, so the negative form of the will is won't. She won't go. But the thing is that still we are using the simple form of the verb, you see. She won't go to the restaurant tomorrow. And here, tomorrow, it shows that it's talking about the future, simply. Okay? So it doesn't matter. I say she or he or we or they. So it will be the same. She won't go to the restaurant. I won't go to the restaurant. They won't go to the restaurant. Okay? And the same with the question. Will you go to the restaurant? Will she go to the restaurant? Will they go to the restaurant? Okay, so the auxiliary verb is the same. Doesn't matter the pronoun, what that would be. Okay, now that we know how to shape the verbs, how to create the verbs in future, and we know the auxiliary verbs of simple future, it's time for us to dive into the usage of the conditions that we actually use simple future in. So there are three main categories. As I said before in the previous videos, there could be 100 other categories. If you go on a Google search, if you do check any website, anything, it can be a lot more. But these three are the main categories, in which the other categories would be a subcategory of these. I mean, that would be a part of one of these three categories. So these three are the main. If you understand these, I will make sure, be sure that you will understand them as well. Number one is predictions. I mean, the simple thing that comes to our mind in the first place. When we have will, it's talking about a prediction. I will do something. It means that I'm predicting that something will happen in the future. It will rain tomorrow. It's a prediction. It's a prediction of happening in the future. As you see, the main verb in here is rain. I know. The things that come out of the sky, it's also rain. That is a noun. In here, rain is the action of raining. Okay, so in here, it's a main verb. And it will rain. Will in here is the auxiliary verb to show that it's going to happen. This action, this verb, raining, is going to happen in the future. So, predictions. Number two is when we are talking about promises or offers or the things that I say I will do in the future. For example, I will call you later. I will call you later. What is it saying? It means that I'm giving I'm giving you my word that I will do something in the future for you. So I will call you later. It's in this category. It's talking about promises and offers. So for example, I will offer you something in the future. Okay? And the category number three is talking about plans. But if you already know, we use other things too to show our plans in the future, like present continuous, like am going to. What is the difference between this one and those? Plans, when we want to compare it to present continuous and am or be going to, the difference between this and these two, this actually, simple future, and these two, is that in this one, I'm less certain about it. I'm just saying something, but I'm not 100% sure about it. But when I say these two, it means that I probably have a plan to do it. I mean, step one is do, step two is do, step three is do. That will be in this one. But simple future, it means that I want to do something in the future, but I don't know when, I don't know how, I don't know the plan. I just know I want to do it. For example, I will move to California next year. I mean, I know that I'm gonna move next year, but I don't know how, I don't know when, I don't know what is the first step, what is the next step. I don't have an actual executive plan to that, but I know that I want to do that. Okay, so this kind of planning I'm talking about. So again, in this third category, we use simple future to talk about the plans, but we are less certain about it. So in the positive form, it will rain tomorrow. Predictions. I will call you later. Promises, offers. So, for example, I want to say she for the second one. She will call you later. Again, the same. Will is the same, call is the same. There is no change in either of these two things. For the negative, it won't rain tomorrow. You remember? In here we said will, when we want to make it negative, it would become won't. So we say it won't rain tomorrow. It means that this prediction is not happening. This raining thing is not going to happen in the future. I won't call you later. Again, she won't call you later. They won't call you later. Or he won't call you later. Or you won't call me later. Okay? And the question, the same. Will would be at the beginning. And we say, will it rain tomorrow? Will it rain tomorrow? Will you call me later? Will you call me later? Okay, so I think when we compare this simple future to those previous two videos, simple past and simple present, the formula and the categories that we use and the way that we use auxiliary verb inside, it's way simpler. And it's not very complicated and confusing with different sections. I mean, if it was she, he, it, we use this. If it was I, you, we, they, we use that. It's not like this. Simply, we use will plus simple form. It doesn't matter what is the pronoun, what is the sentence. Want to make it negative? That would be won't. That's it. Okay, so now that this video is over and now that you know the things about simple future, I hope that you have a better understanding and a more comprehensive understanding of simple future and the conditions that we use it and the way that we use the verbs inside and the auxiliary verbs for simple future. In the next video, I'm going to cover all these three simple tenses, simple past, simple present, simple future, together so that you see them in one board and you can compare them in a better way. The conditions that we use, the formula, and the auxiliary verbs and blah blah related to each tense. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope that you found this video helpful. If you found it helpful, I would appreciate if you give it a thumbs up and subscribe so that you won't miss any future videos. And I would appreciate if you leave comments for me, make sentences with these, try to combine these three sentences in this video and the last two videos that we covered. Try to combine them and understand when to use each, the auxiliary verbs. Try to compare them so that you get more straight and more clear on these three and their differences. Okay, let's dive into the next video in which we are going to compare these three tenses together. So, see you around.